Hi Cancer, here is a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2012, and this is part 1. Also there's a third part which is the same for all the signs, which is me describing my thoughts really on the outer planets and how it's going to affect us all globally over 2012, because each forecast is set against the backdrop of really quite dramatic transformation and change that's going to be affecting us all worldwide. So, astrologically speaking, there's an awful lot of planetary activity already affecting your sign, with Uranus, Pluto and Saturn all in hard aspect. But actually Saturn is going to be moving out of there in October, so that's possibly good news. In fact, probably good news. Both Venus and Mars will be in extraordinarily long transits. Venus is going to be in Gemini, the sign before yours, from 4th of April to the 8th of August, and will be sharing the stage with Jupiter for some of that time, starting from June. Venus will be in a background area, which means a relationship could be, or relationships, it might be, many, or it might be just be one, blossoming slowly behind the scenes. This is an area where things are taking root and growing, but they're not ready to go center stage and be all singing or dancing. So it might be a relationship or relationships, or it might be some project you're working on, or some work you're doing behind the scenes, where you've got to show your caring, nurturing side a little bit more. Also in one-to-one sorts of scenarios, in the background, pulling strings from the background, beavering away, burning the midnight oil maybe, and doing a lot more than really others realize you're doing sometimes maybe, and really putting yourself out. Venus leaves here though and enters your own sign for 3 to 4 weeks from the 8th of August, and that is going to be a good vibe for you, making you feel, more like stepping out, doing more for yourself, being kinder for yourself, being more self-indulgent, others appreciating you more because you feel good. You've got this feel-good factor coming in, more sociable. Maybe it doesn't work like that, or it could, making you more attractive, but it might be that you just feel more friendly and you have a lot more chit-chat going on around and about the place. And you coming across well, good time for negotiations and getting something that you want, by the way. You getting the urge, anyway, to come out of the cupboard and do something nice for yourself. Also, in 2012, Mars is going to be in the same sign right up until July, 4th of July, 2012. And this is good news for you. It's going to be activating your area to do with communications, education, media. Also, you'll probably be flitting hither and thither, maybe in your head, but also physically, perhaps socializing more, making new connections with people, places, and keeping your ear to the ground, listening out to what's new on the block, listening to feedback. It's very much left brain stuff where Mars is going to be, and you really need to get things off your chest. You won't be backwards and coming forwards with your opinions. That transit started on November the 11th, by the way, for your information. The air can get a little blue at times. You can feel a little bit frustrated at times. You could be crossing swords with opponents at times. But at least all of this stuff helps, you to develop your communication skills, your people skills, maybe developing speaking, writing, or other forms of self-expression. Sharpens your mind, hones your skills. And be careful when traveling, though, because Mars can be a very impulsive sort of energy, and it's not a good idea to be impulsive behind the wheel of a vehicle. In this kind of energy that encourages things like road rage, or when you're out and about, getting kind of snarled up in something that you really wish, you want to get out of quick. But patience with Mars, because Mars tends to be a little bit of a hothead, It might also mean problems with communications equipment or vehicles at times as well with Mars here. Jupiter is in Taurus. This is in a very good angle to your sun sign, Cancer. Will be there until June 12th. and it sends a supportive wave of energy towards you, Cancerians. Jupiter's bountiful energy can magnify whichever area it occupies. So for you, Cancer, it could be due to new associations, a new friendship or friendships, or old friendships, or a collective, a group kind of involvement that you're in, or a collective. So that's over the wires as well, obviously. And people who have certain interests in common, kindred spirits, if you like, or those who are all working towards a common end, a common cause. So you're likely to become learn a lot through being connected in, plugged in with these sorts of environments and people. Your working or personal social agenda is likely to be bulging at the seams at times, whether, that's out of choice or whether it's just kind of happening. And you will have to be careful, that you don't overestimate or misconstrue or underestimate others' intentions or capabilities. And this is, yes, it's just part of the course. And also this is a very progressive area that Jupiter is in, so many of you may be able to get into gear with something you've waited to do for a very long time, and it's like, at last I can just take this off the shelf, blow the dust off it and get going with it. That can be good news. And you could also draw a teacher towards you, or be seen as a teacher to others, be seen as a mentor and guide to others, they want to consult you in some way, or there is somebody there who gives you a refreshing take on things. Right, now you Cancerians born 21st of June to the 22nd, in fact, should I say the whole of the sign of Cancer is going to be influenced by this energy. Also, you with Cancer rising, and that's going to be from the beginning of the year to June the 12th. And then from June the 12th, Jupiter is going to move from there, and it's going to be activating a more background sector of your solar chart. And this will be a time for you, Cancer, of spiritual renewal, and maybe working more from behind the scenes. Becoming more, maybe on a major project, or maybe working behind the scenes, being a support or a bridge for others, using more of your heart energy, your compassionate energy, and others really quite underestimating how much you are putting yourself out at times, how much they are leaning on you at times, but also you might have to lean on somebody else as well. In fact, you should do, because this is the area of higher service, right? So that means that you'll be paying off some karma with this one, if karma still exists in 2012. But also, just raising your vibration is what I should say, really, instead of paying off some karma. And you could be feeling that, your batteries are running low. You need some R&R. And so you should be definitely going in for activities which look after you, because then you can look after the rest of us better, if you see what I mean. Whoever it is, that is relying on you, and there could be others relying on you, but don't forget that, because this is so easily forgotten in this area here, in this rather selfless area of higher, potentially raising your vibration. And looking maybe at foodstuffs and the like, and also maybe some of your ingrained patterns, habits and lifestyle choices, and seeing how they are rather counterproductive, and how you do shoot yourself in the foot, and why you keep doing that, because it doesn't make you feel good physically, or it doesn't make you feel good in your mind or in your heart. So maybe doing some therapy, this is the area of psychotherapy actually. So letting go and forgiving, forgiving will help you grow, will lighten you up, and add to the pool of goodwill for us all, no matter how insignificant or invisible you feel at the time. Just realize that nothing is missed. And this is, as I say, a good time for developing a project behind the scenes, for growing something, to bring something to fruition, begin to bring it to fruition behind the scenes, and also great for artistic work, psychic work, healing work, spiritual work, yoga, meditation practice, that kind of thing. and really raising your awareness about the connectedness of all phenomena, how we are all connected, and how there is no difference, color, creed, culture, there is no difference, we are all in the same boat. So, yes, and that will be the new Jupiter cycle. Saturn continues its transit, sorry, I should have said, and that will be you, Cancerians, born with up to, that will be up to 17 degrees of Cancer rising, and that will be up until around about the 10th, 11th of July. Yes, that should be that. I didn't make a note of that one. Saturn, as I was going to say, continues its transit of Libra, coming at your sign in a very hard aspect until October when it leaves. So that means you're just in this cycle of having to work harder at home or on domestic, on the shelter that you're in, the roof over your head, or it might mean on family relationships, all to do with family, more demanding, you having to be more responsible, and anything you've been just tolerating regarding maybe family or your place on the map or your community or neighborhood or maybe background to do with your past, and you feeling a bit stuck. All of this is going to come up and be more in your face and need more of your attention, heavier demands made on you to do with home and or family well-being of family members. It could be a number of things, but it can stir up emotions as well, make you feel a bit out on a limb or a bit on your own, you mulling over the past, etc. Now, if you were to look back 28, 29 years, you might get the gist of what is now unfolding in this area, because if you look back then and recall that, then you'll know what happened next. And then you get the thing more in proportion, and you can deal with what's going on in the now. It can be quite an eye-opener, actually. So in this Saturn cycle, you learn how to concentrate your energy into building new routines into your domestic setup, or build a new domestic setup, or relocate somewhere which allows you, or nearest and dearest, to flourish, to function better, or you're aiming to do that, but you keep, tripping over the next obstacle, but just keep your eye on that improvement, on that goal. This change, which is at the roots of your life, could actually be facilitated by a family member. If you manage to get this thing, if you manage to get this changes in the pipeline, and you actually manage to get it to start to happen, this change for the better, it could be facilitated by a family member, or it could be because of a family member. It's not just for me, little old me. It's, I've got to do it for them sort of thing, you see. Cancerians born from the 14th of July to the 22nd of July, or from 21 degrees of Cancer rising, will feel this influence of Saturn the most. And then from October the 6th, Saturn demands, from its new position, it will demand that you put a steady flow of nurturing attention into speculative projects, investments, and romantic liaisons, and children and animals, but more on that in part 2. So I'll see you there. Hi Cancer, here is part 2 of your overview for the whole of 2012. We were talking about Saturn, or at least I was, and Saturn's new position in Scorpio could be potentially very good news for you. Nothing like the heavy energy of its long transit through Libra. So it's going to be moving out into Scorpio from October the 6th, and it will be there for 2.5 years. And that will give you a real crack of the whip at getting into gear with building up something, and that building and meeting of the challenges will be in the area to do with investments, speculative projects, creative projects, anything along those lines. Coming from your creative core more with what you're doing. So if you're trying to build something, no matter how small or big a thing, which is coming from your very center. It makes you feel good, even though there's a few spanners that get thrown in the works every now and again. You just got to keep plugging away at it. Then keep plugging away at it. If you're connected with the entertainments or performance or promotional type activities, or industry, then again, nothing happens rapido. With Saturn, you just have to keep hanging in there. And you can be very successful, particularly because Scorpio is a fellow water sign and is in an extremely positive angle to your sun sign. This transit of Saturn also could be centered around romantic partners or romance, and animals or children. Those that rely on you, your input for them to flourish, and you'll be taking that on board more seriously over this transit as well, I think. And in this Saturn transit, you'll probably be learning how to concentrate your energy, zeroing in on those sorts of areas there, anything which you can build upon, which is creative, speculative, but also around, romantic partners, children, animals, and new routines that the spin-off, the side effect is that as you bring them on, and as the project or the activity or the child or the animal is brought forward, or the garden or whatever it is blossoming, so you will get this kind of feel-good factor yourself, and prove to yourself that you can do it, and feel, in moments of great enjoyment, because this is actually a very playful area that Saturn's going to be in, but it needs disciplined effort in perhaps the areas that I've mentioned. And you Cancerians born up until July the 1st or with up to 11 degrees of Cancer rising like to feel this mostly from October 2012. Uranus, you've heard me speak about before, it's at the top of your chart. It's in Aries now for many, many years, 7+ years, and there can be new beginnings or changes with your general life direction or career. They can be major or minor, and that's going to occur depending on the degree you were born in Cancer and the degree that Uranus is currently transiting over this 7+ years that Uranus is in Aries. And it might come, with a little bit of a kerfuffle, a little bit of sort of feeling surprised, and things happening, suddenly there's a switching off, or suddenly there's a switching on, that you weren't expecting. You've just got to roll with it. It's as simple as a season of nature when the leaves start to go golden on the trees and fall. It's just like that, and it doesn't feel like it though. Sometimes, when you're in it, but you might find yourself getting into an area or working in a way that you never saw yourself doing. It can be that surprising, and so the universe knows what it's doing. This transit is to free you up, and no matter what your mind might think, maybe your higher self energy knows exactly what's going on, and feels that everything is as it should be. It's just us who get all worried, and you don't like to feel insecure. It's a big deal for you, your security and your regular routines. So, as I say, there'll be a little bit of stirring up and shaking things up every now and again, and if you understand that this is what's supposed to be happening in order to free you up, then you will be able to deal with it better. Also, Uranus rules technology, anything at the leading edge, cutting edge. It rules revolution as well, and some of you might be, getting into perhaps groups or forums or whatever, who are kind of pulling together to change the world or to bring about certain changes. So you Cancerians born up to 9-10 degrees of Cancer or around about June the 21st to the 30th, we'll be feeling the Uranian energy mostly over the whole of 2012. Neptune, this is another piece of good news for you, and after 2011 you need it, because you've had a lot of heavy energies hitting your sign, Cancer. Neptune is about to transit out of Aquarius and into Pisces, another water sign, so in a very good vibration to you as a water sign. You will have been feeling the Neptune influence over many, many years, of 15 or so years, manifesting maybe a sacrifice over your joint finances, joint property, sometimes blurring the boundaries between what's theirs, what's mine, and had to lay your personal preferences on one side to underpin another's requirements and values, feeling that you haven't got the control over your space or over your money or over whatever it is, you still got to rely on or be involved with somebody else's plan or agenda. Anyway, this is finishing now from the 4th of February. And Neptune will be going home. Neptune will be going into its home sign, Pisces, and will be working very powerfully from there. And for you, Cancerians, you'll feel this benefit. You very early Cancerians, you'll feel the benefit. Those of you born 4 degrees rising or up to June the 25th, it's kind of, it's a loose margin either side, but it won't be far off that. You guys will be feeling it mostly over 2012, and you now will be functioning more in a philosophical, idealistic mode. It will be more mental, communications orientated across maybe a wider stage. Others may see you more as the advisor, the guide, the mentor figure, or maybe some of you are getting into academia yourself. You may be interested in travel, but pilgrimage, there's a feeling of sacredness maybe about it, pilgrimage about it, mysticism, gurus, higher knowledge, and also your imaginative artistic ability may increase over this very, very long transit, and you could develop new interests which have you getting you out of your normal rut, your normal box in your head. Perhaps it's interdimensional travel or dematerialization, or it can be something that really does take you right out of the regular parameters that you've maybe been used to. And you may also discover that what you thought, that you were brought up to think was written in stone, was as an absolute truth, is an illusion, and maybe a mass illusion. So there can be some confusion sometimes, but this is in a very powerful aspect to your sun signs. So even though Neptune can be confusing, it's a slippery fish, it rules in mists and fogs, and thinking can get distorted. It's likely that you won't be putting on the rose-tinted spectacles too much because of the very, very good angle that it is to your sun sign, and also Neptune working very more purely and powerfully out of its own sign, Pisces. Pluto is in Capricorn still, will be for many years. Pluto's in your close relationship sector, whether that's in a professional sense or in a personal sense. It's just going to put you through certain experiences because of other people in one-to-one scenarios with you, but also will help you reach your bottom line about, what your needs and requirements are and what you will and will not tolerate. With the planet of death and rebirth affecting you, it could mean that some of you are compelled to make a major change, or just have it thrust upon you because of the dynamics in a relationship, or what they're up to, what they're doing, and finding a new direction, steering a fresh course, and it may take guts and tenacity, but you certainly have those, and a deep conviction. Just listen, actually, to your gut. This is the way for you to go, and trust it. And that's not the chatter in the head, that is the knowing in the body mind, which isn't about words. You Cancerians born 26 June to the 1st of July will feel this energy most strongly over 2012, and with up to from 4 degrees to up to 10 degrees of Cancer rising. Now there's 2 solar eclipses, May the 20th and November the 13th. The first one is 0 degrees Gemini, the second one is 21 degrees Scorpio. For you, the first one in Gemini will send out a pulse of energy over several months down the line for you to make changes from behind the scenes, work from behind the scenes, but also take more time with your inner life, your private musings, touching base with higher self energy, source energy, meditate. Eclipses are opening the way for a change. So if you need to make changes in this area so that you can feel more nurtured and more grounded, then do so. And it's also a great opportunity for the artists among you to be just altering things to make more of a space to allow for that art and that project, and also for spiritual and healing practices and psychic practices as well. And the second one is Scorpio will again send this pulse of energy down the line into the future from the time of the eclipse, and that's going to be a late year, and that will help trigger new beginnings around the area I was speaking of earlier: romantic partners, children, speculative projects, investments, the performance area, promotional area, theatre, that sort of thing, and doing the kinds of activities which help you shine and give you this sort of feel-good factor. That could be altogether a good thing. Now, if you are interested in hearing more about the Grand Cross coming up and the sort of the even bigger picture, the bigger wheels that's going on in 2012, which will affect us all, because of course this reading is set against that backdrop of great drama going on across our planet over 2012, then do switch across to the shift 2012, which might be written down here somewhere. And also, if you'd like to listen to your rising sign, if you'd like to listen to the forecast for your rising sign and your moon sign, then and you know those, then you might get something out of that too. And I wish you very well for the whole of the year, and I'll be seeing you again. So take care.